Fantasy Football 101 on this Halloween Saturday here on Sports Radio 1450.
Yeah, happy Halloween, everybody.
Yeah, nice.
That's right. We even forgot about that. I didn't.
Who's dressing up?
You do.
I am.
I'm not for the first time in my nearly 30 years. Yeah.
You're not?
I'm not.
You got 3 kids and you're not dressing up. You just leave that up to them.
You know? Yeah. I got a lot going on.
Their day now.
Got a lot
What do you got,
on.
Nicorelli? What
I am. I've actually cut the sleeves off of one of my Kiss shirts.
Oh, Hannah Montana?
And just Hannah Montana. What is wrong with you?
It's a popular costume this year.
What is wrong with you,
It's top 3 costumes this year.
I got myself a mullet wig. Actually, it still works for Hannah Montana.
Yeah, see?
Are you going as one of the rock DJs?
We'll leave it. We'll leave it at that. How about that? Cut myself some jorts, and we're good.
Jorts.
Nice. Mark, dressing up this year?
Yeah,
Of course he is.
You know, I think so. It's going to be a bit of a reach for me. I'm going to go as George Clooney.
Nice.
Grow some hair, lose a couple 100 pounds, and now I've got it, look, baby.
I see the resemblance. I'm a beekeeper.
You're a beekeeper. Now, you got to have a bee, though.
The girlfriend is going to be a sexy bee.
Okay, then. Beautiful.
Are you going to have the full get-up with the mask and everything?
Oh, yeah. Catching bees.
That's awesome.
Catching bees.
I like it. Only you'd come up with something like that, Stark. I love it.
It's original.
That's great stuff.
That's very original.
It'll be a good
Absolutely.
time. I love Halloween.
Me too.
And we have a lot of football today, too. After this show this morning, we'll have Steal a Deal auction. Then later on, Rochester against Mascoutah at ISU and SHG and Carbondale also at ISU immediately after that. And I'll be running the show for that game. So Big day here on Sports Radio 1450. It is week 8, and we're talking fantasy football here on Fantasy Football 101 and taking your phone calls at 529-1450. Let's get to those. They're all lighting up. Good morning. You're on Fantasy Football 101. Go ahead. All right.
Oh, wait.
Sorry.
How about that?
I potted that down. My bad. Go ahead. You're on Fantasy Football 101.
E-Dog, A-Train, Metro, and Grammar.
There he is. Hey, we were talking. What's your name? We got to come up with an affectionate nickname for you.
It's P. Diddy.
P. Diddy. No, that's taken.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, P. Diddy.
No,
Hey,
you're not
guys,
Sean Puffy Combs.
Sean Puffy Combs.
You just don't sound like
online.
You don't sound like him.
Me and E-Dog now, we're
Bad
1-1.
boys.
1-1. You got the... Boy, did I ever miss the boat on that Larry Johnson thing, huh?
Oh, yeah.
But hey,
Yeah,
guys,
you did.
Now listen though, when you looked at the week before, and you guys are stats guys, you guys realize they had 23 carries on the road against Washington for 83 yards. And San Diego, now Grammar, bring me up to date here, and I'm sure their defense is better. What's San Diego's run defense right now? What are they ranked? Like it's got to be bottom 5, right?
The San Diego run defense is ranked 28th.
There you go.
And then they actually improved from the week before because Kansas City was having. I'm sure they were probably 29th or 30th, in there. So I mean, the pieces were in place. It's just that blowout game. Like I said, that just basically took them out. But yeah, Larry Johnson's done. Like I said, we're 1-1. I got the Houston defense, and E-Dog got never play LJ again. So I take that.
Hey, 23 carries for a little over 80 yards. If you do the math, is not that impressive, even against or especially against a Washington team that is awful. So
Larry Johnson and Jamal Lewis, I think, are one and the same. They really
awful.
are. They both have had their better days. They both tippy-toe behind line of scrimmage, and they're both not worth having on a roster.
Well, I'd say I have one comment and then a question and stuff. And, maybe I kind of like a sleeper here. Maybe E-Dog doesn't like it, so maybe we can, settle the score here and see who gets the deciding victory. Hey, have you guys seen and it's awesome. I recommend for any fantasy footballer out there, and I hope some of you guys saw it, is on Fox or FX. I'm sorry.
The League.
Yeah,
Mark was telling me about it. I didn't see it.
I meant to set a DVR. I forgot.
The taco song goes down in annals of one of the great moments in TV history after one show already.
Oh, it's great. And Grammar, too. I love how they did their fantasy draft, because, they're all at some boring, little kids party and stuff that the wives are all getting to and stuff. So how they did their draft was they each picked out a number out of a bowl and stuff, and that's usually your draft order. Well, apparently it wasn't in their case. It was actually attached to a number of a kid who was going to be doing a jump sack race and stuff. And so they're rooting on the kids and all the wives are like, oh, gosh, you guys are into it. And the one girl comes through that's got the guy number, and he's like, oh, you just gave me Adrian Adrian Peterson, I love you. You know, just some random girl. But it was good. So, hey, my sleeper here, though, and E-Dog, I wanted to know what you think of him. I think this guy's going to have a big game, and it's Matt Forte. He hasn't been performing, been basically putting up like Larry Johnson numbers before, but I think he breaks out. What do you think?
You know, I like Forte this week. I mean, as far as breakout, like, I just don't know it. He had a good game against Detroit, right? So maybe he'll be good against bad rush Ds, but, well, he has just not looked the same this year. However, if I have Forte, I'm definitely not putting him on the bench this week. You know, I'll plug him in against Cleveland. That's a good matchup.
If he doesn't come out and have a good game this week, then he's not going to have a good game the rest of the season.
I agree.
This is his chance to really have 100-plus yards and a score or two. And, you know, a lot of people have been banging on him, and I understand he's had a bad year, but that offensive line has been absolutely horrible.
Yeah,
that's part of the problem. But this has got to be the week Forte comes through.
I can't totally disagree with you this week, Puffy. We got to try something else.
Well, there'll be, you know, it's a long season and stuff. We kind of, you know, except we got a long ways to go. But yeah, maybe 1-1. Maybe we'll just leave it at that. You know?
We got a long season.
Yep.
Only week 8. Thanks for the phone call, Diddy.
I tell you what, guys, I like it, too, that you guys are even getting bigger. I'm seeing you guys on Twitter now. I'm seeing Schlereth talking to you guys. And
yeah, Schlereth has been commenting back and forth. So, yeah, he's understanding that we're a force to be reckoned with, baby.
Well, hey, guys, quick question. I'll hang up. And like I said, as always, I appreciate being a weekly caller on the show here, and you guys do a great job. Last question here is Brett Favre. Great matchup against Green Bay, but either start him or actually somebody that's really been putting up some numbers at home against Seattle, Tony Romo. What do you guys think between those two guys for a quarterback?
I go Romo.
That's a good question. I was actually leaning towards Romo as my stud this week because I think he's due for a big game and didn't play bad last week either. I would go Romo this week just because of the matchup.
I agree. I like Romo this week.
I think Favre's going to come into Green Bay a little excited, you know.
Of course he is.
I know, but a little overexcited. Exactly. You know what I mean? And even as long as he's been around, still, you got to think going into a game like this, he might just be a little too amped up, and that might affect a few things. Whereas Tony Romo against Seattle, I just love that matchup. And Tony's been playing great. And Miles Austin is
There's the main reason right there.
Okay. Well, good. All right, guys. Well, I'll tell you what, market those names, copyright them, and, have a good show.
All right, Puffy.
Thanks, see ya.
Thanks, Diddy. Actually, I think yours probably already is copyrighted, but whatever. We'll keep going. He changes his name, though, every other week. So
yeah.
It probably isn't anymore. 529-1450 is the phone number, 529-1450. Lots of calls. That does bring up a question in my head, though, too. Who would you start, Favre or Rodgers, this week? Think about that. Let's take a phone call, though, first. 529-1450. Go ahead. You're on Fantasy Football 101.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Morning.
I got a quick question. I'm 6-1 in both my leagues, so I'm kind of looking ahead to the playoffs.
Hey, congrats.
I just kind of wonder who you guys think specifically who maybe I should go after. I kind of need a running back. I got a MJD and Clinton Portis right now. Portis is on a bye. My other running backs are Donald Brown, Tashard Choice, and Fred Jackson. So I'm kind of looking for a running back. I got a couple receivers to trade. So
who are the receivers you got you might be able to trade?
I got Roddy White, I got Vincent Jackson, I got Braylon Edwards, and I got Miles Austin. They're my 4. And I also have Kevin Walter, but he's option right now. So.
How many receivers do you start in your lineup?
Well, right now I'm starting 3 with the flex spot. There's 2 and then the flex.
Boy, if you've got the cojones and you want to deal someone and get right now, if you want to deal either Vince Jackson or Miles Austin, I would think, be able to get a darn good running back. But boy, that'd be really risky.
Yeah, like I said, I'm just kind of looking forward to the playoffs. Like, I don't know who I was looking for. I know Arizona's got kind of a soft schedule. I know Seattle's kind of got a soft schedule. I was just wondering who else you guys liked in the last 4 weeks of the season.
Boy, I'm looking, and it's just kind of tough to call that far down the road right now. Week 14, Ray Rice has Detroit. Week 15, Baltimore's at home against Chicago. Chicago's rush D isn't that great, so I kind of like Ray Rice. However, Week 16, which is most fantasy league Super Bowls, Baltimore's got Pittsburgh, so
I've been on the cusp the last 2 years. The first year I was 12-1, lost in the playoffs, and then last year I made it to the championship and lost in the second week. So kind of looking for that maybe that player to finally get me over the top. So